The Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna has officially been removed as the Secretary General of the Orange Democratic Movement, commonly known as ODM, bringing to an end months of uncertainty and internal disputes over his position within one of Kenya's largest political parties. The latest development follows a decision by the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, which confirmed that ODM followed the legal procedures required to remove Sifuna from office. The decision means that his name has now been officially removed from the party's registered leadership, marking the conclusion of a lengthy legal and also political process that has attracted national attention. According to a letter sent to Sifuna by the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, the registrar determined that the ODM party compiled and also complied with the provisions of the political parties and the party's own constitutional procedures before affecting the leadership change. The letter, signed by Registrar of Political Parties John Lorionoko, has stated that the office had reviewed the documents submitted by ODM and also considered the absence of the response from the Senator Sifuna as required, or as is required under Article 47 of the Constitution. Based on that assessment, the registrar concluded that the removal was lawful and also valid. The registrar further indicated that the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties had already updated its official records to reflect the changes submitted by ODM. As a result, Edwin Sifuna no longer appears as the party Secretary General in the official register maintained by the registrar. This confirmation represents the final administrative step in a dispute that has unfolded over several months and has become one of the most closely watched internal battles within the Orange Democratic Movement. The decision by the registrar comes just 2 weeks after ODM formally announced Sifuna's removal from the influential party's position. At the time, the party explained that its National Executive Council had considered the findings of its Internal Disputes Resolution Committee, which had investigated complaints concerning Sifuna's conduct while serving as the Secretary General. And according to ODM, the Internal Disputes Resolution Committee prepared a report after examining the complaint before presenting its findings to the National Executive Council for consideration. Following deliberations, the National Executive Council unanimously adopted the committee's recommendations and endorsed the decision to remove Senator Sifuna from office. Acting Secretary General Catherine Omanyo announced the outcome in an official statement, explaining that after reviewing the committee's report under Article 74, Section 2 of the ODM Constitution, the National Executive Council unanimously agreed that Senator Sifuna should cease serving as the party Secretary General with immediate effect. That announcement marked another significant chapter in the internal disagreements that had been building for months within the opposition party. The roots of the dispute stretch back to February 2026, when ODM first announced that it had removed Sifuna from Secretary General position, and at that time the party accused him of acting contrary to official party decisions, and ODM particularly cited disagreements surrounding the party's position on support for the broad-based government. And as Secretary General and one of the party's most recognizable public faces, Sifuna was expected to communicate and also defend official party positions. According to the party, this public position on the broad-based government conflicted with the decisions made by the party leadership, prompting disciplinary action against him. However, the initial removal did not immediately take place, and instead, Senator Sifuna challenged the decision before the political party's dispute tribunal, arguing that the process leading to his removal had not complied with the procedures required under the law and also ODM constitution. The tribunal later ruled in his favor on procedural grounds rather than endorsing the removal. It found that ODM had failed to follow the proper procedures before removing him from office, and that ruling effectively halted the earlier decision and required the party to restart the disciplinary process if it still wished to pursue his removal. ODM subsequently initiated a fresh process, and this time referring the matter to its Internal Dispute Resolution Committee, and after after conducting its review, the committee presented its report to the National Executive Council, which then unanimously endorsed its recommendations. It was this renewed process that was later submitted to the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties for verification and registration. Following its independent assessment of the documentation submitted by the party, together with the procedural requirements under the Constitution and also the Political Parties Act, the registrar concluded that the process complied with the applicable legal framework. That finding paved the way for the official update of the ODM's registered leadership, making the removal legally recognized by the registrar's office. The development represents an important moment for ODM because the Secretary General is one of the party's most influential officers. The holder of the position plays a central role in managing party affairs, implementing decisions of the leadership, coordinating internal operations, and also serving as one of the party's principal spokespersons. Changes in such senior position are therefore significant, particularly at a time when political parties are increasingly preparing for the 2027 general election. For Senator Edwin Sifuna, the confirmation of his removal comes as he appears to be charting a different political path. And even before the registrar confirmed ODM's decision, Sifuna had increasingly been associated with the Linda Mwananchi movement, a political initiative that has been gaining attention in recent months. Sifuna and other leaders linked with the Linda Mwananchi team have already announced the plans to launch a new political party ahead of the 2027 general election. The announcement has fueled speculation about the future political direction of the group, especially after supporters began representing Sifuna as a possible presidential candidate in the next election. While those plans remain separate from ODM disciplinary process, the timing of the registrar's confirmation means that Edwin Sifuna's official departure from ODM leadership now coincides with the preparations for a potential new political platform. The development also reflects the broader political realignments that continue to reshape Kenya's political landscape, and as parties position themselves for the next electoral cycle across the political spectrum, parties have been reviewing their leadership structures, strengthening internal institutions, and also resolving disputes as they prepare for the highly competitive 2027 campaigns. ODM's handling of the dispute also highlights the importance of following internal constitutional procedures when making leadership changes, and the initial attempt to remove Sifuna has overturned because the required procedures had not fully observed. And after repeating the process through its internal dispute resolution committee and obtaining approval from the National Executive Council, the party was ultimately able to secure confirmation from the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties. That sequence illustrates the role played by Kenya's legal and regulatory institutions in overseeing political party governance and also ensuring that leadership changes comply with established laws. With the registrar now having updated ODM's official leadership records, the dispute over Edwin Sifuna's position as a Secretary General appears to have reached its formal conclusion. Attention is now likely to shift towards the next phase of Kenya's evolving political landscape, including the emergence of new political formations and also continued preparations for the 2027 general election. And for ODM, the focus moves to the consolidating its leadership following the official confirmation of the changes within the party hierarchy. And for Edwin Sifuna, attention will increasingly center on his political future and the planned launch of a new political party alongside other members of the Linda Mwananchi movement. As Kenya's political environment continues to evolve, the decisions made by political parties today are expected to influence alliances, leadership contests, and also electoral strategies in the period leading to the next general election. What are your thoughts on this development? Share your views in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this report, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more in-depth political news and analysis.